Hey, Boomer.
Hey, good morning. Another Victory Monday. That's 3 in a row. And by the way, if the Bills do lose tonight in Atlanta, guess who's in first place?
How about that? Our beloved New England. But by the way, you're going all Ma Bell on us. Did Nor'easter take your communication system out down there or what?
Well, I heard it was your fault. It's not my fault on this end. We are totally up and running right here. This is old school, so that's why it sounds kind of weird. But I will say this. We were talking about the Patriots schedule for the last 3 to 4 weeks, and winning a game in New Orleans doesn't seem like much, but it's a big deal, especially coming off of the big win at Buffalo, showing up, being professional. The quarterback plays great. The defense plays great, even though it's Spencer Rattler, I know. But next week they got Cam Ward. These are games, as Mike Vrabel gets to go back to Tennessee next week, these are games that young teams have got to win. And that's what was so impressive about yesterday's victory against the Saints.
Well, you brought up the quarterback, and we'll get the Drake take in early this morning, and that is from Boomer and presented by your New England Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive. Drake Maye joins Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, and Dan Marino as the only quarterbacks 23 or under to pass for 200-plus yards and have a 100-plus passer rating for 5 consecutive games, Boomer. He is the guy.
Damn, I didn't even do that. Holy mackerel. I know. I think I started when I was 23. But anyway, really impressive. Almost 70% passing. Again, no turnovers. That's the key. He's throwing the ball down the field. I mean, a couple of these throws down the field are really spectacular. And that's, you're getting big plays. He's running with the football. I mean, I'd like to see a little bit more balanced offense, and I'm sure Josh McDaniels would like to see a little bit more balance on the offense, a little bit more running the football, because ultimately when they get to the playoffs later on in the year, in the wintertime, outside, you got to be able to run. So the running game is probably not up to snuff just yet, but I can't say enough about the way the kid's playing. He's absolutely living up to everything that they could have expected him to live up to. And again, as this season started, I said not only was Mike Vrabel the right hire for the team, which was really important, but maybe even more importantly to get the most out of Drake Maye was the rehiring of Josh McDaniels.
Boomer, the confidence level is there for Drake right now, but he's not cocky after the games. And both Mike Vrabel and Drake said, there's a lot to improve upon after this win. Is the running game the biggest part for you when you look at Drake Maye's play?
I think what he's talking about is himself. I don't think he's actually talking about his teammates or any of that. I would say personally, just sitting from afar, running the ball for 73 yards and he being about, 30 yards of that. I mean, that's great. I mean, that's what you want. I mean, you want him to be able to create secondary plays. You want him running for first downs and keeping drives going. All of that stuff is fantastic. What I'm talking about is getting, Henderson, Stevenson, those guys more involved. You'd like to see them rush for about 150 yards a game. You're taking a little bit more pressure off of the young kid, but I think for most people, when you watch young quarterbacks play, what you want to see is clean games. You don't want to see mistakes. You don't want to see interceptions. You don't want to see forced footballs. You may see them when they're behind late in games, but when they are in control of the game, you want to see your young quarterback to be in control. So there's always room for improvement. This game is a game of failure, as we all know. Sometimes the other team wins on a particular play, and sometimes you win on a particular play. But the good thing about the Patriots is that their offense has awoken. And when you think back to their win against Carolina, that win looks a lot better today than it did when they beat Carolina 3 weeks ago because of what Carolina has done the last 2 weeks. So this is a team that's on the rise. There's no question about it. And a lot has to do with, Drake Maye's ascendancy to one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
Boomer, one of the things that you just talked about is Josh McDaniels. And to me, when I look at Drake Maye, his pocket presence, his awareness, his ability to make smart decisions, I think is in large part to his relationship with Josh McDaniels. Talk about what it's like to have an offensive coordinator who gives you that type of comfort as a quarterback.
There's no question that when I lost my offensive coordinator way back when in the 80s, he left to go become the head coach of the Jets, unfortunately, for him and me. So I lost somebody that knew me better than anybody, somebody that knew the game better than anybody, somebody that could design plays, that got the best out of me as as a player. He knew what I did well, and he would also get on me in practice if I wasn't practicing well, or he would always quiz me after every practice, before every game, the night before the game. I mean, it was constant. He was all over me. And it was somebody that I came to respect because I had a lot of success, underneath him as a coach. And I'm sure that that's the relationship that's being developed right now between Josh and Drake. There's no question about that. And Josh, while his head coaching prowess is sketchy at best, his offensive coordination, there's no question that he's one of the best in the NFL. And there's a calmness, I'm sure, between the two of them during games about, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. Now, I compare that to what I witnessed yesterday with the Jets, who set offensive football back 50 goddamn years. It was incredible to watch the difference of a second-year quarterback compared to a fifth-year quarterback with an offensive coordinator who's a rookie himself, and Tanner Engstrom for the Jets. So there's no question that relationship is paramount to the success of the quarterback.
Boomer, if I remember correctly, the coordinator you're talking about is Newt Rockne. Is that correct?
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty funny there, Greg. I think you're older than I am.
We debated this before. We don't have time for it.
I know.
I think
you guys are almost.
You've been on the air since cousin Brucey, right?
Wolfman Jack or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Wolfman Jack.
Hey, Boomer, I don't know why this still isn't done, but why can't coaches challenge pass interference calls? The call yesterday was so horrifically bad. Everybody watching it seemed, except the people in striped clothes on the field, knew what had gone on. Why is there not a way for the NFL to fix obviously awful PI calls?
It's a really good question because this game was officiated horrendously yesterday, and I think we all saw that, and it was frustrating for both sides. I mean, really both sides. And I don't know what's going on with the officiating. It seems like each week we get a game like this where I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know what they see. I don't know how many times there are flags being thrown for roughing the passer, too, where there isn't roughing the passer. I wish they would actually be able to review that. We went down this road before with review of pass interference. It really didn't work out all that well. I mean, you talk about frustrating and you talk about game stoppage and throwing red flags. I think what they're trying to do is to try to make these decisions as quickly as possible to keep the game moving. They don't want all these different stoppages. They don't want all these different reviews. And I remember Bill Belichick, I think it was probably 4 or 5 years ago, he was advocating for reviewing everything. And that would create probably 3.5 to 4 hour games, and that's the last thing that the TV partners want for the NFL. So I understand the frustration. There's no question about it, but I also understand behind the scenes why it's important to get these games over with and not get bogged down with replays and red flags and redos. And that's why we have that expedited review now that comes out of the press box from somebody we don't even know who's making that call sometimes to the officials.
Oftentimes when Steph Diggs is responsible for incidental contact, it's on a boat.
Okay, yes, all right. You can say that for him, not me. I have nothing to do with that.
But speaking of Miami, Tua goes out after that game, basically throws guys under the bus for being late to meetings or not showing up to meetings. What is going on down there?
All right, so that's an indictment of the head coach, unfortunately. I think he's trying to support his head coach, but by doing that, he's also undermining him. And there's a lot to be said about a way a quarterback handles himself after the game. Now, I'm not going to say that I was perfect, but I do remember that after a game, especially after we lost, I had to be careful what I was saying for a number of reasons. Back in the day, everybody's family members were watching either SportsCenter or the local news to find out, what the take was from the coach, from the quarterback, and other players that may have had a mistake or two in the game. So you have to be really, really careful about what you do, and especially in this day and age with social media, because now all of a sudden social media pounces and makes it even worse. So I saw this after the game yesterday, and I was cringing as to what he was saying. I understand his frustration. I understand why he would want to say it, especially when you're losing games the way that they have lost games. But by doing what he did, that wasn't leader-like. That was basically undermining your head coach, which was really unfortunate. I like Mike McDaniel. He's most likely going to get fired, it seems. Where there's smoke, there's fire in this league. And right now, when your quarterback is saying that guys are missing meetings and late to meetings, that is a strong indictment of the lack of respect that the players have for their head coach.
He has to retire the pants too, Mike. Like, enough is enough. You can't be losing like that wearing those pants.
Yeah, there's no question.
Does getting Lamar back fix the Ravens?
Not their defense. I mean, their defense is horrendous. You know, they lost their big defensive tackle, Matabuke, and he has really been the linchpin of that defense. They played a little bit better yesterday. I don't know what the heck LA was doing. They should have ran through them yesterday, but they didn't. But they still won the game, and that's all that matters from Sean McVay's point of view. But Lamar is a great player. He can camouflage and make up for a lot of misgivings on that football team. I don't think that team thinks that either Cooper Rush or Tyler Huntley are the answer. So it's the same thing with the Jets right now. If you have a quarterback that nobody trusts, that nobody believes in, that can't inspire anybody, you don't have a chance to win in this league. And that's why this league is quarterback driven. And that's why the Patriots are in a great situation right now. They have a quarterback that everybody in that building believes in, everybody respects. And he's playing like it, and he's also acting like it after the game. Like, he's humble after the game, like you were saying, Courtney. So being that way means that you are going to ingratiate yourself to your teammates, to your coaching staff, and you're going to gain respect. And by gaining that respect, you inspire your teammates. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of that going on in a lot of places in the league. It's not just the Jets. It's not just a number of other places, but I mean, there's just probably half the league is missing the most important ingredient.
Question of the week for Boomer is presented by McFarland Energy, the region's most dependable provider of home heating oil delivery and expert HVAC services at McFarlandEnergy.com. Romo said it at the end of the game. Matty Ryan said it on CBS. So if today were the day that you were naming the MVP, is it Baker Mayfield?
I would feel he's right there. As a matter of fact, I did a sports minute on it this morning, so you can check that out later on your radio show. But yeah, he's fun. He's exciting. We're 6 games into the season. There are other guys like Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, that will also garner a lot of consideration. But right now, I would say that Baker Mayfield. And by the way, it is great to see guys like him and Sam Darnold do what they're doing after they were kicked to the curb by their original teams. So, yeah, I would think that Baker probably has a slight edge in that regard.
All right, I thought you were going to go with Jackson Dott and Cam Skeetaboo out there.
Jermaine, you would love these guys. I swear to God, you would love playing with these guys. This team, the Giants, have been so dead for so long, and these 2 kids have completely ignited their football team. Now, I don't know how long they're going to last because of the way they play. They're like crash test dummies out there. I mean, they are just lowering their shoulders, lowering their heads. And, you know, I just hope it doesn't end. I hope it's not like a Jeremy Lin, New York Knicks situation from years ago where it was a flash in the pan. I think Jackson Dart really does have it. He's got a great arm. He's got great touch. He's got really good accuracy. He runs around. He's just so energetic. And then this Cam Skeetaboo character, I mean, doing backflips after scoring touchdowns, ripping his shirt off. There's a little WWE involved in this. And finally, for the 19 years that I've been here at WFAN, the Giants have got a damn personality, and I love it.
Well, it gives you guys somebody to root for since the Yankees are done. So,
yes,
all right.
You're right. Well, your Red Sox are done too, by the way.
Yes, I know that. Yeah. All right,
and I'm
Boomer.
a Met fan too, so I don't take any great joy in that. All right.
I understand. Have a good show, and then get in the boat and head down the highway and head home.
All right, man. Nothing better than Victory Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy it.